Hey, welcome back, friends. So I've got a little bit of an update for you and a little bit of a discussion topic to discuss tonight. So there's been a few discussions both in my local club that we've been discussing a little bit about, and also with Facebook, about how do we bring the next generation into this hobby that we love. Well, this surprisingly can bring in some controversy. You know, certain statements just like, well, Gundam are for kids, Bandai are for kids, or almost you have to do a real airplane or tank or something like that to be a real modeler, and all this different stuff that can easily be triggering, rightfully so. Now, with this, I tried to look at how do we bring in the next generation? What does modeling look like in the future? With that, I think we have to get away from certain mindsets where the hobby is my hobby and that is the hobby and anything else is lesser or something like that, right? When it comes down to our hobby of just technically putting together plastic and making something out of plastic or resin, right? A few things that are similar to our hobby and close enough that we should embrace them is just, you know, some kind of like different miniature paintings, like this that I picked up that I thought was pretty dang cool. So how do we get people into the hobby? Well, did a little bit of an experiment, but secretly not as much of an experiment. Really, I want to do something special for my birthday a couple weeks ago. So I have 21, 22 nieces and nephews, and I want to get as much of them together, and I wanted to have a build session party with them and kind of get them into that. So with that, I bought some new kits. I got some Bandai Star Wars. I got into some Gundam kits. I get into some Airfix of their Lego-like click system, and just kind of put it into my parents' garage to have this kind of session that happened. I also got in a bunch of the stuff that I got from the local club or from different sales that are older kits that, you know, I'm A-okay with getting rid of. So put those into the garage, maybe 30 different kits of them. And what do you think all the kids grabbed? Was it, you know, my old Fujimi kit or a Revel tank where I had like some old Hasegawa, some Atlantis kind of stuff, some kits that are just really about 50 years old that kind of came to the club where, you know, $3 kind of ran the auction and got the win kind of thing, right? Well, yeah, no, shouldn't be a shocker. All the Bandai Star Wars stuff came at a premium. Everybody picked up that and was building it. And then we have a few nieces and nephews that were more into cars, so there were some cars that were built. I have one nephew that wanted specifically something maybe kind of Apollo or whatever, and I have this old set that's a rebox of the Mercury program, really old kit. And so I decided to give that to him. Younger nephew car set where really it's like 5 steps, you know, you with the screwdriver and the metal, and you just kind of put it in. Something a builder could really build in 10 minutes, right? Maybe not even that. Pretty easy stuff, right? So what were the observations throughout that? Who had the most fun? Who needed a lot of help? Who were discouraged? Well, when it came down to the really old, I think, Atlantis reboxing of the Mercury program with their rocket and the whole gantry system, he didn't even want to continue with the gantry system. He needed a lot of help with just the rocket. A lot of frustration. The parts didn't really fit real well and all that. He was ready to get through that as soon as possible so he could move on to something else. And we moved on to one of the different kits for the Airfix Lego thing, and loved that. And then that's where he actually finished. Once we got into that, yeah. And then a lot of other of my nieces and nephews just got into a lot of the Bandai Star Wars, and with that it just gave a little bit of introduction. Don't even need any glue or paint, just kind of clipping these, give them some instructions, gave them all good sprue nippers to use, because I've got a bunch of them from different tests that you've seen on this channel, and they had a ball. Got through everything in there. And then another niece, which kind of got through a little bit of what I thought was an easy kit, but it was weird. Just some stuff with the instructions. Didn't really, yeah, could tell this was kind of more of a chore than anything. So asked a few questions and kind of said, well, what if I built this real quick and you did painting? Would you like that? Yeah. I like, yeah, let's do that. And then it was really cool. She painted it up, and even I let them pick whatever color they wanted to use, and they used actually pretty reasonable color choices for camouflage. I was expecting, you know, some kind of fuchsia or something. I don't know, something weird. But no, they picked some great colors. And so once they finished that, I'm just kind of, what new? I said, oh, I've got something that I finished. Do you want to just paint it? Yeah. So really old set that I got at part of the hobby club where the guy mostly built it and just kind of finished with it. So it was just this plane that then we just threw on a few more parts, and so you know, I had the propellers and everything, and said, okay, all right, what colors do you want to do? And then, oh yeah, let's do the picture. Oh, can I use this color? You bet. And just had a blast painting it, you know, just slabbing the paint everywhere. So great. So what does that kind of teach us? Now, I have a feeling that there's some people that are trying to maybe get some younger audiences into what we consider our hobby, and they use kits that aren't even kits we want anymore. It's just kind of the stuff that we've had in our stash that we're willing to get rid of and just say, all right, here, build this. But we're not even interested. What can we expect them to be interested in the subject, right? Might be also some really super complex kits. Not really the best for a beginner, right? When you go first skiing, are you going to go in a black diamond? I'm going to do a green. So there's that. But then also comes down to the subject matter. Something that you're interested in, right? You've all been on certain projects where you're building it and the project just really isn't any interest to you, and you're just like, oh, I just want to get through this. But then maybe it's your favorite airplane, or it's something you just watched a movie on and you're really passionate about, oh, this is going to be cool, excited to build, right? That's what we're trying to inspire. And with the younger generation, they're less likely to be interested in World War II as a subject. Now, this is just a statistical generality. We're not saying they'll never be. That's not what I'm saying either. Just statistically speaking, on average, they're going to be less inclined towards that kind of subject. So what is the average age for Gunpla and on Gundam stuff? So, because that's what the younger audience does, right? Or, yeah. According to this chart, you do see in the younger audiences, that is what they're interested in. Now, is it an absolute? No. Try to figure out what they're interested in, right? I've got friends with kids that, you know, build airplanes and tanks and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of different subjects. I think our hobby shouldn't be constrained to what we consider the hobby to be. It really is just building stuff out of different materials and painting it in miniature form, right? Whether we're using it to just put it up onto a stand, or if we want to enter in a contest, or if we want to use it as part of a game. It's all part of, I think, the same culture, and we should all kind of embrace each other in that, right? So I know this is going to get a ton of comments in the bottom. There's going to be some people that are like, no. Correction, all that. That's fine. We can have more of a discussion. Because what I want to try to do is figure out, how do we bring more people into the hobby? How do we make it so it doesn't, you know, die on us? Which I don't think is happening. No. Not so much. But how do we help that? IPMS, how do we make it so the average age isn't like, I don't know the data, but probably like 50 years old or something, right? How do we bring those people into the club is the end result, right? And I think there's a lot of things that we can do. So help me. I'm local club president. I would like to see some fresh faces, especially at like contests and all sorts of different stuff. So what are some things that you have done, what you think, if you're another club, what helps bring kids into the hobby? How do we involve them? Is it purely, I did this because of my parents kind of thing? And maybe it's really down to the parents to kind of push, well, not push, but inspire them to continue the legacy? Is it something like that? Or really, yeah, anything that you guys have that can help me with my club and all sorts of other people that we can share in the comments to kind of help with that. Because I would just hate to see the average age just kind of stay in the end. And I know some people are going to get frustrated with it and be like, it's fine that it's an old man's hobby. Or we're doing kid stuff anyway. I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing some of this. Also put on Facebook, which always opens up pleasureful, super professional commentary. So we'll go into that. But definitely, let me know what you think. What is helping in different hobby spheres and clubs, or just in the space of your home, and how can we build that interest, right? And go from there. So look forward to your comments, and we'll see you in the next video.